All right, let's dive in. Today, we're all about blockchain.
The future of blockchain.
Right, exactly. And we've got a ton of sources here that are all saying the same thing, basically, that blockchain's about to explode.
Huge.
And not just like in the crypto world, but like everywhere.
Exactly.
Mainstream.
Yep, going mainstream.
So we want to figure out, what does this mean for, entrepreneurs, people just starting out in their careers?
Sure.
What are the opportunities?
Definitely. And one of the things that's really striking is that these sources aren't just talking about, like, hype,
Right.
They're pointing to some pretty concrete stuff, like Citi, for instance.
Okay.
They're predicting that blockchain is going to hit 1 billion users by 2030.
Wow. 1 billion users. That's like internet bing kind of stuff.
Exactly. It's a massive shift. And just like the internet, it's going to create like a whole new wave of opportunities.
Right.
But, I mean, what's driving this growth specifically?
Yeah, what is it?
Well, Citi's highlighting a couple of key things. One is the rise of these central bank digital currencies.
CBDCs.
Exactly, CBDCs. And then also just the increasing use of what are called tokenized assets.
Okay.
So, you might not even realize you're using blockchain, but it's like powering things behind the scenes.
Okay, so I could be buying my coffee with blockchain.
Potentially.
Investing in real estate.
Exactly.
And not even know it.
Without even realizing it. It's just becoming part of the infrastructure.
Wow. And speaking of real estate, one of the areas that we're seeing a lot of development in is this whole idea of tokenization.
Absolutely.
And one of the big players in this space is actually JP Chase.
JP Morgan. Yeah, they're going all in on this.
Really? The Wall Street giant?
Yep. Through their platform, Onyx, they've already processed almost $700 billion in tokenized transactions.
Whoa. That's a lot of zeros.
It's a lot of zeros. I mean, to give you some context, it's like if every single person in Germany suddenly decided to trade digital assets.
That's a lot of people.
That's the volume we're talking about.
Okay, so what does this mean for, like, an entrepreneur, right? Someone who's trying to, like, get a new business off the ground.
Well, think about it this way. Tokenization could completely change how startups raise capital.
Okay.
Right? So instead of going to, like, a handful of venture capitalists, you could potentially issue tokens that represent shares in your company directly to, like, individual investors.
Globally.
All over the world, exactly.
Wow. So you go from pitching to, like, a couple VCs to, like, millions of potential investors.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, the reach is just, like, exponentially greater.
That's amazing.
And it goes beyond startups. I mean, imagine, like, wanting to invest in real estate, but not having, hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy an entire property.
Right.
Tokenization allows you to buy fractional ownership, let's say, in, like, a commercial building or even a piece of land. So it opens up investment opportunities that were just totally inaccessible before.
So, like, smaller investors.
Exactly. To the average person.
Okay. I'm starting to get this, but I think I still need a little bit of help understanding tokenization itself.
Sure.
Like, what is it?
Okay. So, remember bearer bonds? Like in the movie Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Those physical certificates that represented ownership.
Right.
But were, vulnerable to theft.
Yeah.
Well, with blockchain, we can create these digital tokens that represent ownership.
Okay.
But in a much more secure and transparent way.
Okay.
So instead of having this, like, physical piece of paper that can be stolen or forged, you have a digital token that's on a secure blockchain.
Okay.
And that transaction is, much safer, more efficient.
So anything can be tokenized, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. It can be like a piece of art, real estate, fractional ownership of a company. That's what JP Morgan is doing with Onyx.
Okay.
They're taking these traditionally illiquid assets, things that are hard to buy and sell quickly, and they're turning them into these easily tradable digital tokens on a blockchain.
Okay. So tokenization isn't just like, finance or real estate.
All right. Not at all.
It's like there's other industries where this is happening.
Absolutely.
So what else is going on?
Well, and this is where things get really interesting, I think, for, like, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
People who are looking to make their mark, like, in their career path, whatever.
Okay.
We're seeing blockchain applications popping up all over the place. And these sources, they highlight some pretty exciting examples.
Like what?
Well, one area that really stood out to me was international trade.
Okay.
You know, all the paperwork and middlemen and delays involved in shipping goods across borders.
Right, right.
Blockchain can really streamline that whole process,
Okay.
make it faster, cheaper, more secure.
Got it.
And it can also be used to, like, verify the authenticity of goods, so combating counterfeiting.
So, like, a small business owner could be, like, shipping their products overseas without all the headache.
Exactly. Yeah, much more streamlined.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop there. We're also seeing the emergence of, like, these decentralized banking platforms that are built on blockchain.
Okay.
You know, and this could really disrupt traditional banking.
How so?
Well, by giving individuals more control over their finances,
Okay.
making financial services accessible to people who are, like, currently underserved.
Okay, so people who don't have access to traditional banking.
Exactly. So imagine a world where you don't even need a traditional bank account to access financial services.
Okay.
You could be sending money across borders instantly,
Right.
getting a loan without going through a bank,
Wow.
investing in projects directly.
That's amazing.
It's a whole new paradigm.
Yeah.
And that's where the entrepreneurial opportunities really open up.
For sure.
If you're someone who's passionate about, like, financial inclusion, creating, you know, more equitable access to these services, blockchain could be, like, the key.
Wow. This is incredible. We've covered tokenization. We've talked about, like, decentralized banking.
Yeah.
I mean, where else is this going?
Oh, we're just scratching the surface.
Really?
Yeah. There's, like, so many more fascinating applications to explore.
Okay.
For example, blockchain is playing a key role in securing the metaverse.
The metaverse, okay.
Which is basically like a network of interconnected virtual worlds.
Right, right.
As we spend more time in these digital spaces,
Yeah.
blockchain can help ensure the ownership and transfer of digital assets within those worlds.
So, like, my virtual land that I buy in a game,
Exactly.
that's secured by blockchain.
Secured and verifiable.
So it's like a real asset.
It becomes a real asset with real world value.
Wow. Okay, so that opens up a lot of opportunities for people.
Huge opportunities for, like, entrepreneurs, creators,
Right.
you know, allowing them to build businesses and monetize their creations in these, like, emerging digital economies.
It's like jobs that didn't even exist a couple of years ago.
Exactly. Entirely new career paths.
Wow. So blockchain is, like, less about the technology itself and more about, like, this fundamental shift
Yeah.
in how we interact with, like, the world around us.
I think so.
From, like, finance to trade to, like, digital life.
It's like a paradigm shift.
Yeah. And it's not just about cryptocurrency anymore.
No, it's much bigger than that.
It's like this whole, like, new era of innovation.
It's about the potential, the possibilities.
Wow.
And that's what makes it so exciting, I think, for entrepreneurs and, like, new professionals, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, we're at the beginning of something huge,
Yeah.
like a technological revolution.
Yeah.
And those who, like, understand and embrace this, they're going to be the ones shaping the future.
Okay.
And I think there are opportunities here for everyone, regardless of your background or expertise.
Yeah.
It's about finding your passion, figuring out how to apply this technology in a way that solves real problems,
Right.
creates value for others.
This has been, like, a crash course in, like, the future.
It's a lot to take in.
But I know we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah, we've got much more to cover.
So much more. So we'll be back after a short break
Definitely.
to explore even more fascinating applications like NFTs, gaming,
Yeah.
and something called self-sovereign identity. Stay tuned.
Don't go anywhere.
So before the break, we were talking about some pretty interesting applications like, you know, streamlining international trade and even, like, disrupting traditional banking.
Right. And I'm really curious about NFTs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember when they were, like, the big thing in the art world.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're moving beyond that.
Definitely.
Like, these sources are pointing to some really interesting stuff in, like, gaming, even real estate.
Absolutely. The gaming industry is a perfect example.
Okay.
We're seeing these NFT-based games that are kind of blurring the lines between the virtual and the real world.
Like, imagine owning in-game items or characters, or even, like, virtual land as NFTs.
Right.
These things can have real-world value. You know, they can be traded or sold just like physical goods.
So instead of just collecting cool stuff in a game,
yeah,
you can actually, like, own it.
Own it and potentially profit from it.
Yeah.
It's a gamer's dream.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it creates this whole new economy within these games.
Yeah.
And, opens up huge opportunities for developers and artists
Right.
and even players themselves. We're seeing games where players can earn cryptocurrency
Wow.
or NFTs through gameplay. So it's kind of blurring the lines between gaming and like a real world income.
So it's like play to earn taken to like
To a whole new level,
a
yeah.
whole other level.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But what about real estate? Like, how are they using NFTs there?
So companies like Ripple are really leading the charge on this.
Okay.
They're working on tokenizing real estate using NFTs, which could make buying and selling property more efficient, more transparent, and more accessible.
Okay.
Like imagine being able to invest in a fraction of a property
Right.
through an NFT. This opens up real estate investment to a much wider audience.
So instead of needing like hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
you could just buy like a tokenized share.
Exactly, like buying a tiny slice of a much larger pie.
Okay.
And it makes it possible for people with, limited capital to participate in the real estate market.
That's amazing. It's like democratizing real estate investing.
It really is.
Wow. That's incredible. It makes me think about all the other industries that could be transformed by this.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just about the technology itself, right?
Yeah.
It's about how entrepreneurs and professionals are applying it to solve real problems.
Yeah.
And, that brings us to another fascinating area we need to discuss: self-sovereign identity.
Self-sovereign identity. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It kind of does, but think of it this way. Right now, our digital identities are kind of scattered all over the place.
Okay.
Right. They're controlled by these third-party providers like Google, Facebook, banks.
Right, right.
We don't really own or control our own data.
Yeah.
Self-sovereign identity aims to change that.
Okay, so instead of Facebook like verifying who I am, I have like this digital identity that I own and control, and it's secured by blockchain.
Precisely. You would decide what information to share, with whom, and under what conditions.
So like logging into websites or like accessing my medical records or even verifying my age.
Exactly.
Without having to rely on like all these big companies.
You got it. It's about taking back control.
Wow. That would be a huge change.
Huge shift in terms of like privacy and data control.
Yeah.
It's like taking back ownership of your digital self.
Wow.
And the implications for entrepreneurs are massive.
Okay, how so?
Imagine building applications and services where users have complete control over their data.
Right.
This could lead to a whole new wave of innovation in like personal data management, secure communication.
Okay.
Even new forms of like digital identity verification.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But are there like any challenges to this?
Of course. I mean, no technology is without its challenges.
Right.
One of the key hurdles is like interoperability. We need to make sure that different self-sovereign identity systems can talk to each other.
Right. So it can't just be like my identity works on this platform, but not that one.
Exactly. We need a seamless experience.
Okay.
Another challenge is just adoption.
Right.
Getting businesses, governments, individuals to embrace this new way of managing digital identity.
Right, because it's such a different way of thinking about things.
It's a big shift, yeah.
So it's going to take time.
It'll take time. It'll take effort.
And like education.
Education, collaboration. But, I mean, the potential benefits are so significant, I think it's a challenge worth tackling.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where we're not constantly worried about data breaches, identity theft, this erosion of our privacy.
Right.
That's the promise of self-sovereign identity.
Wow, this is like really eye-opening stuff.
It is. It's a lot to think about.
And I'm starting to see how these like seemingly complex blockchain applications could really change our lives.
They could.
From like gaming to like controlling our own identities.
Yeah.
The possibilities are just like endless.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah. And it's exciting,
It is. It's definitely exciting.
I'm really excited to see what else is out there.
Me too. There's so much more to explore.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back to wrap up this deep dive and explore what all this means for entrepreneurs and new professionals. Okay, so we've talked about all these like amazing concepts, right? Tokenizing real estate, securing virtual worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like blockchain is about to be like everywhere.
It does, doesn't it? It really feels like it's on the verge of like transforming everything.
Right. But I mean, what does this mean for, someone listening to this?
Yeah.
Especially if they're like an entrepreneur or just starting out in their career, like where are the actual opportunities in this whole blockchain revolution?
That's the key question, right? We've talked about how this technology can change the world, but how do you actually get involved?
Right, right. Where are the jobs going to be?
Well, one thing that's clear from all these sources is that understanding blockchain technology is going to be a really valuable skill. Like in the years to come, we're already seeing a huge demand for blockchain developers and engineers.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Someone's got to build these platforms and applications, right?
Exactly. But, what about people who aren't programmers? Are there opportunities for, non-technical folks, too?
Right, right. That's me.
Oh, absolutely. And this is where it gets, really exciting for entrepreneurs. It's not just about coding. It's about, finding creative ways to apply this technology to solve real-world problems. Think about industries that are, ripe for disruption: healthcare, supply chain management, education, even government.
So you're looking for the inefficiency.
Yeah, the pain points.
The problems.
Exactly. And you're asking, could blockchain solve this?
Right, right.
And we need entrepreneurs who can, bridge the gap between, the technical world of blockchain and the practical needs of businesses and consumers.
Okay, I like that.
Take healthcare, for example.
Okay.
Imagine a system where, patient records are stored securely on a blockchain, giving individuals more control over their own health data,
right,
but also streamlining those interactions with healthcare providers.
That's huge, especially for, privacy, security.
Exactly. No more worrying about, medical records being lost or hacked.
Right.
Could even make it easier for patients to share their information with, specialists or researchers.
Seamlessly.
Securely and efficiently.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. We're also seeing blockchain being used to, track the provenance of goods in supply chains, ensuring the authenticity of everything from food to luxury items.
So you know that it's the real deal.
Exactly. Huge for businesses looking to, build trust with customers,
right,
combat counterfeiting.
Wow. So for entrepreneurs, this means, thinking outside the box. It's not about, creating the next big cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
It's about, finding ways to leverage blockchain to solve real problems.
Exactly. Create value for others. Make a difference.
Make a difference, yeah. And for people just starting out,
yeah,
are there entry points, into this world?
Oh, absolutely. And you don't necessarily need to be a, blockchain developer to find a fulfilling career in this space.
So what kind of roles should people be looking for?
Well, aside from the technical roles like developers and engineers,
right,
there's going to be a huge need for people who understand the business and legal implications of blockchain. So think project managers, marketers, business analysts, legal experts. We even need, educators who can help others understand this technology.
Okay. So there's a place for everyone.
There really is. The key is to be proactive, stay informed, be willing to learn.
Stay curious.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of networking. Connect with other people who are passionate about this. Go to industry events.
Right.
Join online communities. Absorb as much knowledge as you can.
It's like we're at the beginning of a gold rush.
Yeah.
But instead of digging for gold, we're mining for knowledge and opportunity.
I love that analogy. And just like in any gold rush, the early adopters, the ones who are willing to take risks, embrace the unknown, they're the ones who are going to reap the greatest rewards.
I like that. So for someone listening who's feeling inspired, what's the first step? Where do they go to learn more about this and explore these opportunities?
There are tons of resources online. Start by researching the different blockchain platforms, like Ethereum, Hyperledger, Corda. Explore the applications that are being built on these platforms.
Okay.
Try to understand the problems they're solving.
Right. And don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Experiment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Play around with different tools and platforms.
Yeah.
There are even free online courses, tutorials that can teach you the basics of blockchain development.
Okay. Awesome.
And the blockchain community is incredibly welcoming and supportive. Don't be afraid to reach out to people who are already doing this. Attend meetups, join online forums, ask questions.
This has been an incredible journey, exploring this whole world of blockchain, its potential.
Yeah.
We've talked about NFTs, tokenization, self-sovereign identity. I mean, the opportunities are just endless.
They really are. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave everyone with a sense of optimism and excitement. We're witnessing the birth of a technology that could really change the world.
And it's happening right now.
It is. It's happening right now.
So everyone listening, stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged.
Yeah, the future of blockchain is being written right now, and you have the opportunity to be a part of it.
It's exciting stuff. Well, that's it for this deep dive.
Until next time, keep learning, keep innovating, keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.